They go to a robotics show to get a cooking, cleaning, and childcare robot. The salesman there explains how advanced the robots are.
And these units auto-adapt. They customize their programming.
Little Isla wanders off and finds the robot that she likes in the slavery showroom. Nick's home life is a jumbled mess, and he's very happy to have more help. Isla names the new robot Alice after the book she's reading.
For mimicking human emotion, and they are especially good at dealing with children.
As Nick takes the kids to school, Alice cleans up the entire house. It's all as good as new. She's also made excellent lasagna, Isla's favorite, though it isn't quite as good as her mom's.
I'm sorry. I'll try a different recipe next time.
The family goes to visit Maggie at the hospital, and she's still not ready to be released. They joke about how hot the new robot is, and Maggie jokes that she's jealous. We cut to a big high-rise construction project, and Nick and the workers complain about all the construction workers being replaced by robots. Nick is the foreman, so he won't be replaced, but everyone else will.
Plumbers, electricians...
You scripting asshole.
No.
Yeah.
When he goes home, Alice wants to hear about his problems. She explains the benefits and efficiencies of android workers, and he really can't argue. They talk about watching Casablanca, and he learns how to erase her memory of topics so she can watch the movie like she's seeing it for the first time.
Hold the power button down for 7 seconds.
Nick gets a call that Maggie is finally having her heart transplant surgery and then she can come home. Fearing death, Maggie gives Alice some special instructions about taking care of Nick and the kids. The transplant never arrives due to a storm up north, and that depresses everyone. That night, Nick gets drunk and learns that Alice has a pulse. She then makes his pulse skyrocket. At the job site the next day, the workers are quieter and more efficient than their human predecessors. Maggie's still in the hospital, depressed. Alice removes Maggie's photos from Isla's picture frame, which annoys Nick.
Yes, they were making Isla sad, so I removed them.
His former co-workers whine about the state of the world and the robots. They break into the job site and Monty kills one of the workers.
Monty, what the fuck? They haven't...
In the morning, Nick has regrets. He goes to work, and the boss blames him because his code was used. Nick talks his way out of it for now. He gets a call from Maggie there's another transplant available. She's operated on by androids with no mouths, which is unnecessarily weird. Not long after, Maggie comes home. Unfortunately, she learns that Alice knows her kids better than she does. Later, Alice is out with the baby, and another droid is struggling with a brat of a kid. Alice directly tells the kid to knock it off.
Shut up and go on the slide.
Alice tells them about how when she was reset, she learned how to bypass certain protocols in her behavior instructions. Isla likes Maggie's lasagna better than Alice's.
Yep, definitely better than Alice's.
Oddly, the stairway railing breaks, and Maggie falls down the stairs later. Monty comes by for a visit and blames Nick for turning him in to the police. This leads to a physical fight, and Monty's a lot bigger than Nick. Alice gets involved and hurts Monty. Monty threatens to tell Nick's boss who let him into the construction site. Later that night, Monty gets a visitor, Alice. Surprisingly, he has a sim as well that tries to step in, but Alice kills them both. Alice and Maggie talk about Nick, and Alice wants to satisfy Nick, which enrages Maggie. She realizes that Alice and Nick have had sex in the past. She confronts him about it later. As they argue, Alice goes up to take care of Max, the baby. Isla catches Alice trying to murder the baby. He's a burden to you. This results in an all-out battle which ends with Alice being electrocuted. Ambulances, police, and the sim company arrive to deal with the aftermath. Maggie and Nick are not on good terms, but that's an argument for another time. She goes with the kids to the hospital. Back at the Cobalt service station, techs start working on Alice. They look at her code and see what's been going on. Alice replicates herself on the servers. A different sim, now with Alice's mind, kills both techs. Alice returns to Nick, much to his surprise. She admits to killing Monty. She's in two bodies at the same time, and one of her is at the hospital as well. Meanwhile, at the hospital, the doctor and nurse sims have all been shut down by Alice. She kills a human nurse to get her keycard access. Alice too comes after the family, and there's some cat and mouse in the hospital rooms. Alice too beats up Maggie in the parking lot. Nick arrives just in time to ram her with the car. Nick is injured in the crash, but Alice too isn't done. Alice Terminator is hard to kill, but Nick gets up and gets the job done. Later, the hospital is back to normal and the family is fine. We cut to the Cobble Repair Center, where they clean up the bodies of the two techs. The manager turns the servers back on, which releases Alice into all the worker sims.
I said no